俺たちのために死んでくれ。頼む。
We're here at Sega's Cool Lounge playing all kinds of awesome games, and this is Scott Strichart, who is the localization producer on the Yakuza games. Kiwami 2 is almost upon us. You guys have been fast and furious with the Yakuza games recently. What's been going on with that? Why this sudden surge in Yakuza-ness?
So we've been playing catch-up since Yakuza 5 came out, and we more or less had to get that game just into the market, and you know that game came out in at the end of 2015 after a Japanese release in 2012.
Yeah.
So we've had a long time to have to kind of get caught up.
Yep.
And with Yakuza Kiwami 2, we are finally and officially, after 2 years of 4 games, 2 years, caught up to the Japanese releases, which is a really good feeling for me.
And now this is obviously based on a PlayStation 2 game. It's a remake using all new technology. Have you changed the story at all? Is it going to be a new experience for people that maybe are super familiar with the original Yakuza 2?
We have gone line by line and done like an analysis of the accuracy of those lines, because this was translated back in 2006, you know, and that's a lot has changed since then, and a lot of, you know, I think fans demanded a little bit more accuracy in the translations, which has allowed us to really kind of tweak things and make it feel a little bit more modern. Things that would have maybe been like glossed over in the original because they were afraid or concerned about what fans would think about them have been kind of restored in Yakuza Kiwami 2. Yakuza 2 was actually the first introduction of Sotenbori, which was a city that's been featured in Yakuza 0 as well as a little bit in Yakuza 5. So this is a really cool opportunity to render Sotenbori in the Yakuza Dragon engine, which is where kind of kicked off Yakuza 6. So Sotenbori has never looked this good. It's really cool to just wander around that city and get immersed.
And is it a direct, story progression from Yakuza 1? Are we just picking up from the next day kind of thing? Like, how does this fit within the timeline?
Yeah, Yakuza Kiwami takes place at the end of December 2005, and this picks up in December 2006. If you've missed Yakuza Kiwami, there is like a literal 20-minute cutscene that you can watch that will have Kiryu narrating the events of Yakuza Kiwami, so you don't have to have played that, but it's certainly a cool thing if you have.
Tell us what sort of makes this a unique and distinct Yakuza experience.
Well, we have a peeing minigame.
Okay.
You can go into the bathroom, and there's the Sega Toilets app is there. That's happening. We have 2006's kind of hot arcade games, Virtua Fighter 2.1, as well as Virtual On. The Cabaret simulator from Yakuza 0 is back. Clan Creator with Goro Majima, the other kind of favorite. There's just a lot to do in Kiwami 2. Sega
arcade games, that's always a standout for me. I'm a longtime Sega lover, right? So I love finding those things. Is it Virtua Fighter 2.1 and Virtual On, or are there other ones too?
Yeah, those are the 2 arcade games we're featuring in this one. 2.1 is, I don't know that we've ever done that on a console. It's like it's Virtua Fighter 2, but also tweaked for balance. So that was an arcade release that happened. And Virtual On is just a huge fan favorite. People really love that.
These are massive games, and I think people don't recognize how much content is in there. So if they're not familiar with the series, tell us a little bit about what makes Yakuza games very special.
The Yakuza games are a crime drama wrapped in this giant epic story, but also just over-the-top silliness. The producer once described this game as being a game where very serious people do very stupid things. And I think that's probably one of the best descriptions I've ever heard of Yakuza.
Is this, attributable to the way that the Japanese kind of like to tell their stories around this sort of gritty gangland kind of world? Is this typical, or is this just a uniquely Sega thing?
Yakuza is a very uniquely Sega thing, but I feel that people often misinterpret this game as being this very dark, criminal, gritty, kind of Grand Theft Auto-y kind of criminal simulator, when in reality it's about a guy, it's about a man doing what's right for the world, and being constantly sucked back into these politics of the criminal underelement. And it's less about that criminal element and more context of that is what's happening for our hero Kazuma Kiryu.
And I think Kiryu-san's kind of journey is fraught with lots of huge epic things, but also lots of minutia and lots of concern for the average person, and he just gets sort of embroiled in all of these little small things that become great game moments, don't they?
Absolutely. The sub-stories are what really make this game shine. Running into old ladies in Kiwami 2, or convenience store employees that he ends up helping, that kind of thing. And you, in Kiwami 2, you actually gain heat actions from having done that, which is a new take in this little allied system that we have going on in Kiwami 2. But overall, Kazuma Kiryu has become this sort of icon of both Yakuza and Sega to some extent, just for his heart of gold, but also kind of rough and buff exterior,
いらっしゃいませ。
お客様
Now, you've played all of these games. You are an expert on the Yakuza series. They're all cool in their own way. Yakuza 6 was a landmark title for you guys. Do you have a favorite if you're pulling them from your own heart out of all of these different games?
Yakuza 0 is always going to be super special to me because that was the first game I came in on, and it's just a really just hype game that, you know, sets the stage for the entire Yakuza series as a prequel. But Yakuza 2 was my literal second favorite, so it's been a joy to work on this title.
Is the idea then with you guys to kind of create the PlayStation 4 box set, like to have them all in the sort of most modern system that you can, so people can just like have that on their shelf and play through the whole saga, play through the whole epic?
That's kind of the dream. You know, we have to work with Japan very closely on that. Nothing's been announced at this point. We're getting Kiwami 2 at the door, but I would love to see the entire Yakuza series available on the PS4 before the PS5 comes out, I hope.
And then you'll do it all over.
I hope. Oh gosh, please.